Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to distance learning program. I am Miss Shahnaz from Satken Grammar School. Lesson number 1, the same chapter which we were studying, chapter 4, cell and tissues. Topic is cell organelle and the page numbers is 6970. I hope you all will open your books along with your copies. The three-dimensional structure of the animal cell. There are different organelles there, and like in the nucleus you can see, and whenever we are going to study we will go back and look at this picture. The structure of the cell is showing you the cytoplasm, the nucleus, and you can easily look at the mitochondria also. Cell organelle. So what are the cell organelles? The term we use for the small structures within the cell that perform a very dedicated functions, like you can say like mitochondria, chloroplast and nucleus. And we can consider them analogous to an organ, like organ perform different functions special to them. Same are the cell organelle. Cytoplasm. So what is the cytoplasm? It is a jelly-like substance that fills the cell. It's sounds very funny that cyto means cell, you all know that, and plasm means stuff. So cell stuff. So think about a big water balloon, and water balloon has a little pieces of fruit floating around it. And what is the cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is the water in the water balloon, and it's a little bit thicker than the water, and it makes the majority of the inside of the most of the cell. Now inside the cell, just like the water balloon, I said that it has a pieces of fruit floating in it. So there is a nucleus and the organelles. You can imagine that cytoplasm is like an ocean in which these organelles are floating. Cytoskeleton. Cytoskeleton is a microscopic network of protein. As I have divided them into two, that is microtubules and microfilaments. Microtubules is made of tubulin. It is also a protein, and the filaments is made up of active proteins. As we have already said, that cytoskeleton is a network of proteins, and both of them serve very important, as they provide the structure support to the cell. And the other important function is it is the means of transport within the cell. Cytoplasm hold together the organelles. Now with the structure we have this in our mind clear, the function. And the other is nourishes the cell by supplying it with salt and sugar, and we all know that the cytoplasm is made up of water content and different ions are also there. It provides a medium for metabolic reaction to occur. Now, till we have discussed the cytoplasm and cytoskeleton. Now we come to the cell organelles. We are going to study two cell organelles like nucleus and the mitochondria. Here you can see I have just written 4 points, I think. That is, nucleus is a cellular component. It is a part of the cell. Then it is one of the largest organelle, that is largest in size, which is present. Then third very important point is that it is one of the primary factor that distinguishes eukaryote from the prokaryote. You all remember that. And the other point is it contains the entire genetic information is present in the nucleus. In which form? In the form of the DNA. What was a distinguishing factor with the eukaryotes? Eukaryotes contains the well-bounded membrane nucleus, while prokaryotes do not have that. Again, here is the structure of the cell, and in the cell there is a nucleus, and you can see I have pointed out the nucleus. And the nucleus, you can see the components. If it is very not a very simple one. It contains nuclear envelope, that's outside. Then there are nuclear pores, and nucleus, a dark spot at the center, and the it is a thread like a structure, like you have just seen there, and it is called as a DNA. Nuclear envelope that surrounds the nucleus and all of its contents. It is made up of a double layer, that is two phospholipids, and it is very similar to the cell membrane which surround the whole cell. There are what is important in the nuclear envelope, that it has a pores and spaces for the RNA and proteins to pass through. So as it requires the exchange for the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm. Nuclear envelope keeps all the chromatin network and nucleus inside it. Nucleoplasm. Okay, my dear students, we are going to study in detail. Like nucleoplasm consists of nucleus and the chromatin network. Now, nucleus, you can see a dark spot inside the nucleus, and it looks like the nucleus is present inside the nucleus. It is a site for the, mostly it is we can say it is site for the protein, for, or we can protein forming centers, like it has an aggregate of the RNA. Then the other part, which we know that it is a chromatin material, mostly in the resting stage or in the not dividing stage, the DNA is found in the form of a network, that is our genetic material in the nucleus, and that is known as a chromatin network. In the dividing stage, this chromatin material will get organized in the chromosomes, and that contains the DNA. Yes, we come to the mitochondria. It is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Mitos means thread-like, and chondrion is a granule-like or grain-like structure. So they are organisms that you can say it act like a digestive system. What does our digestive system do? You remember that it take in the nutrients, break them, and then creates the energy-rich molecule for the cell. Same thing is the mitochondria doing in our cell. They are the working granules or working organelles that give the cell full of energy. And mitochondria are small organelles that is floating throughout the cell. Some cells have just several thousand of mitochondria. For example, in the muscle cells, which require lot of energy, there is a loads of the mitochondria. The other most important point is the inner membrane and outer membrane. As you have seen, the outer membrane, it is permeable to certain molecules, so that they can enter it. Inner membrane contains many folds, and that folds are called cristae. Due to these folds, the surface area of the mitochondria is increased. As you all know, these cristae contain some specialized membrane proteins, and that enables the mitochondria to synthesize the ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. Inside the inner membrane is a jelly-like structure we call as matrix, not precisely that you observe in the movies. It is much different from them. As mitochondria is very special, so they have their own DNA floating in the matrix, and they have their own ribosomes. Function. What is the function of the mitochondria? A site for the aerobic respiration, and energy is produced in the form of the ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. That's why we call mitochondria as the powerhouse of the cell. Last thing is the homework. You will think that homework is easy one. No, homework is in detail. We have studied two organelle structures, that is the nucleus and the mitochondria. So first you are going to describe the structure and function of the nucleus, and the second you are this is describe means you are going to write in detail. Then the second question is why mitochondria is called powerhouse of the cell. Diagrams are very important for all the biology students. So you are going to draw the diagram of the nucleus, difference, and the page number I have given.